Okay, everybody, let's get started. We've got a long program tonight. So first things first. Hey, here we go. First things first, turn it off. That includes you, Cheeseburger. I know she's going to call you, but, you can see you later.
How dare you assume that?
Turn them off, okay? Wait. Number 2 is, did everybody sign in?
No. There's one up there.
And, okay.
Where is the sign in?
There's not chairs there.
There's a chair here, there are a couple more up here.
Hey, Don, how you doing?
Everybody sign in. If you don't sign in, you don't get credit. You don't get credit. You're gonna have to find the bill. You don't get games, right? Number 3, we've got a box of pencils here.
Pencils?
Donated.
Just go to a goal.
Just go grab with your card. Rubber band and card. Pass it around. Please, number 2 pencils, all right? We're gonna go through a lot of material tonight. Okay, so hold your questions till after the presenter is done. All right? Number 1, though, did everybody get a parking permit?
No.
She's walking around. The machine was not accepting paper or cards.
That's not.
Except in my car.
The machine up the hill does.
You gotta pay the bill.
One of them wasn't, one of them was. You will get a ticket if you did not pay.
Which one did you use? You just walked right out.
Well, they both work.
Yeah.
What, two? Do you have an
I
extra?
did, yeah.
I'll
So the
take one.
machines work.
So,
All right, well, it's up to you. If you want to get money back on those, here's the process. Keep your receipts. Do you see this? It is in print. I don't want it tonight. I don't want it next week, and I don't want you to try and text it to me. It doesn't work that way. All right, keep your receipts. Submit all your receipts after the final veterans training meeting. Staple them together or mail them to the OLOA secretary. Well, that happens to be me. But staple them to a piece of paper with your name and address on it. Staple them, all right? Okay, because they will be turned in to the OHSLA treasurer. We need to supply these, right? Don't just tell me, don't take a picture, don't say I lost it, that's just tough. And besides, you know what? It's $3, you can write it off.
Mine was $2.
Well, some of us were here a little
Well,
early.
half an hour before class ends, you're running out.
Okay? All right? You've been told. Okay? Don't be whining, it's only $3. And if you lose your receipt, you lose your receipt, so what? Okay? Hey, where's your test? A couple of you have already responded and sending your test. You're on the shit list. Somebody just tried to
Wow. Anybody on the list?
Where's your frickin' test? No test, no beer. Or no cocktails, right?
First beer's on you.
Where's your test?
My test, you got my thing.
Nope, no test. Hey, guys, time is now. Take you 15 minutes, right? Some were really early. In fact, I think you were
Probably the
here.
first one.
Yeah. All right, get your test in.
So,
Okay.
I took my test, I got my score, I should be right below or above my side. He was with me.
Well then, now you can send it to me again.
You gotta email it in.
Okay? All right, here's the agenda. Locke's going to talk about pregame, goalkeeper privileges, Devin. Okay, he's got a lot of slides. Face-offs, Mark Monson may not be here tonight. We'll just roll through that, okay? We'll have a quick break, 10 minutes. I'll go over technical fouls. I'm really going to shorten this on mine. Remember, these slides are going to be available afterwards. So I've got 16 slides, but I cut it down to about 5, okay? Because Devo's going to cover all the crease ones. We don't need to go over them again. And there's a few others. We'll get through them quickly, okay? Tom Carney is on his way. He's flying in from Dallas. He should be here in about 45 minutes. So he's going to do those other presentations. And we'll have questions and discussion. Okay, any questions? All right, Again, hold your questions to the end. Pissers are down the hall, all right? Be respectful. And again, this is being recorded. Okay, next up, Dr. Locke Chandler.
All right, so talking about the pregame. Setting up the crew for success. I always say that with the pregame, why do we do it? What's the purpose? Anybody besides the 7 Ps?
To get us all on the same page before the game.
Get us all on the same page.
Focused.
To get us focused. And as I said, proper prior planning prevents piss poor performance, or if you fail to prepare, you prepare to fail. And so there are a lot of times where I get a text like, hey, meet you at 7 in the parking lot. That to me does nothing for me. And so what I'm going to give you an example of, this is my, evidently he reorganized it a little bit. Okay, here is sort of my pregame, and I'm typically looking a few days ahead. I'm watching the weather, and I'm looking at the weather for what reasons? I want to know what I want to wear.
Pants or not?
Pants or not. I'm not one of the people who are like shorts and shorts no matter what, even if it's snowing, I don't care. That's not me. Because I tell you what, most of us are in the age group, I would say, of 30 plus. What does that predispose us for injury? Anybody? Anyone? Perhaps something to do with running? Perhaps the Achilles? Maybe the hamstring. I don't know. But that's another reason why. It's like, so when I'm running in shorts and it's cold weather, I'm more likely to sprain my Achilles or my hamstring. So if you want to injure yourself, go right ahead, wear shorts and shorts. I don't care. But for me to be comfortable and to rep appropriately, I want to be weather appropriate. Kent Roberts, he says that if his hands get cold, he doesn't think as well. And he's repped a long time. So he wears gloves a lot, even when it's kind of warmer, because he just doesn't want to get his hands cold because he feels like he's not as confident that way. So I'm sending this out because I'm trying to build that team a couple days beforehand. I'm not sending it out a week ahead of time because guys have games. I'm sending it out a day or two ahead of time. What's the date? What's the day? Just because, again, there's a lot of games going on. What's the time? Who's the teams involved? But then I put, where are we meeting? I'm going to meet on the field versus meeting in the parking lot. What's the difference between meeting in the field, meeting in the parking lot?
You're dressed or not? You're ready to go?
You get there together, but one, I'm going for visibility. How much of communication is verbal?
60%.
Verbal, 10%. Nonverbal, 90%. So I'm not going for us, I'm going for those coaches out there. Because if we stay in the parking lot, they don't see us at all. They think that we just roll in. It's like, geez, what the hell kind of prep did they do? When I'm out on the field and they see me talking with our other crew and we're pointing things out, I'm talking scenarios. I'm talking about, okay, what's the end line? What's our crease play? What's our single side line? What are we doing at the midline? About the box, it's like I am out there and we're pointing, directing. That to me is nonverbal communication with those other coaches, those teams that tell you that, hey, they're engaged, they're involved. It's like, okay, they care about this. They're not just saying, hey, all right, let's flip a coin here and let's get the captains out and go. Does that make sense? And so that's what I prefer to do, because then while we're doing that, we can see, it's like, okay, let's check for face paint. Anybody want a stick check? We'll get that in a moment. But then what I see is, when can I go do that coach's check-in? It's like, when are they engaged in maybe team event? I'm not going to go interrupt something if they're right in the middle of it. I'm going to wait for a pause and then go over. And so this is everything. And then I say, who's the umpire? Who's doing the home team? Who's doing the visiting team? Getting them to know which one that they're going to grab for coin toss. And then I make sure I have their phone numbers in my phone. So then if nobody's showing up or if they're late, then I know who to call. And so then I'm going to do the attire. So me, I'm going to meet on the field. I'm going to typically, this first month, I may be in pants just because I don't want to injure myself for the later season. It's going to make me last. So then I'm not calling Don and be like, hey, I have to take a couple weeks off because my hammy is strained and I just can't run down the field anymore because I ran in a cold, wet game the other day and I just haven't recovered from that. So just play smart. This is another example, Carney. You know, again, I know it's a busy slide, I didn't follow, you know, Stroh's suggestion of 6 lines, 6 words per line. It's a little bit busy, but it's not to read everything. You guys are gonna get the notes. So it's gonna be there. But you can see, like Carney talks about certain aspects, like, hey, this is a playoff game. Know that this is gonna be a little bit more intense. Whereas Scroggins has one, too. It's like, congrats. A couple things to keep in mind. And sort of what's our level of play here? What are we going with? It's like just to give us a heads up so we can be on that same team. Because I've had games where I've left with or refed with guys who've been reffing for, combined years, maybe 80 years. But we didn't do, to me, any of this, and I haven't been the ref. And I feel like we never just gelled in that game. We were sort of calling different games. We just weren't seeing it the same way. And I feel like I've reffed better games when we've done some of this with guys maybe combined. The other two, maybe they've just been doing it a couple years each. But I feel like we've gotten them on the same page and we're doing it as a team. So just different scenarios. What do you got up here? Okay, be on time, which is to be early. I know that sometimes work happens, travel happens, and so just try and be on time and be prepared. It's like, I've had veteran guys who show up and it's like, oh shit, I forgot my hat in the car. It's like, come on, man. Or, oh shit, I forgot my flags. It's like, I've got spare flags. It's like, just come prepared. I don't think it's too much to ask. It's like, I have my bag and I have spares in my car. It's like, I have 3 jerseys, I have extras just in case I forget stuff. So just be prepared. Again, this is just going over some of those same things, sort of game scenarios, reviews. Got fancy with all the animations. Trying to get to my other thing. So stretch. That's one of the reasons why I get there early. It's because I'm stretching. It's like, because if I don't stretch, I'm gonna injure myself before the end of the season. And so just, I look at these young guys and I see them going through their stretch routine and they're doing it half-assed. I'm like, you better do it now because in 30 years, 20 years, you're gonna be hurt. But they don't know that. They're in high school. So this is an example. I know it's a busy slide, but I'm gonna bring copies of my pregame. This is one part of it. And so our color printer was out, so I will bring copies for you if you wanted to have it. This is double-sided. This is just one aspect, just to go over things. So I have it laminated when I'm talking with sort of my 2 guys that I'm working with. It's like I'm typically going through this, looking what's pertinent for the level of play, but also for who I'm repping with, and I'll just go through it and just say. And so again, I've repped with a number of you, and you know that I'm typically gonna start on the end line and just talk about end line play and what to look for, who's looking at what. So making sure that we're watching our zone and not ball watching. And so always be communicating, as we say, sort of mowing the lawn, where we're walking back and forth. And if you know me, it's like when that ball is on the opposite side, my eyes aren't as good. I'm gonna walk over there with it just to get a little bit closer. As it comes over, I'm gonna back up. As it goes down, I'm going down. As it comes back, I'm coming back up. And so ideally, you guys are a triangle moving in all directions, and we go over that when we're talking in our pregame. So one, when you certify that coach, you're gonna talk about, and I'm gonna get through this is again more for your benefit, just to see it when you look at the PowerPoint itself, so we don't need to go over all these points. So the goal is to work on the team, the 5 C's, the player safety. Okay. So when we call the captains, who arrives first? Home team is going to arrive first. Which direction are they going to face? Where do we make that call for captains? What's the correct mechanic?
2 corners.
Corner of the box. You're standing on the 30 and the 30 in the box. Your feet, I usually have the corners. My back is at the sideline. I'm looking out. Now, obviously, if they're running a drill, I'm not going to do it there. I'm going to be off to the side. But if you want proper mechanics, you're each in the 30 of the box. I'm not walking to the 30. I'm typically getting to the 30 and saying captains. And then you get them there, and it's not a time to have conversations. It's like, hey, what'd you do this summer? How you doing? What's your name? It's like, no, I'm meeting and I'm looking to see when the home team arrives if I'm not the home team. And when they start walking, I'm starting walking. Because who arrives first again? Home team. And then you arrive second. Don't have that visitor team arrive first. Yeah.
I always ask the speaking captain whether he knows what he's gonna call if he wins. Because
Oh.
sometimes they don't.
And so you can ask, just get to know who that captain is, get their name, and when you go up to the referee, I will introduce the referee. It's like, gentlemen, this is referee Brian Platts. And then I'll introduce that speaker captain, and then I'll go to the other side and I'll shake their hands, because typically the referee has shaken the first arriving team's hands, then meet the visitor, and then everybody else usually meets, and then we wait. And so for me, as an observer, like if I'm the umpire or the field judge, when they are certifying, again, when we certify, do we just say, hey, do you certify, coach? Is that all we say? Why?
Doesn't cover anything.
Doesn't cover anything. Well, why do we have to say the whole thing?
Liability.
Liability. If we have lawyers in the room, they're saying it's liability. The other two guys should monitor that and say, hey, we didn't certify the coach yet. I was like, oh, geez, I got distracted with telling them about pre-game events that are happening or talking about the halftime. Because the other two guys are there to assist. It's like, hey, ask if there's going to be an anthem. Or is there going to be any halftime special event? Oh yeah, is there going to be any anthem or special halftime event? And that's more pertinent as we get into the playoffs. So again, this is just more data. Part of it is to have fun. But again, I'm going to wait for that certain time when I can go to that head coach. I'm not going to interrupt. And so some people are like, no, right when you get out there, do it. It's like, no, I'm going to look and see. When is a good time where I'm not going to be intrusive in that event, in their preparation? Because I'm going to be respectful for that. I'm going to get the captains for the coin toss, going to be in the 30-30. Home team arrives first, facing the bench. Visitors go second. And then meet each, and then you're going to be scanning. You can do sort of look for if anybody wants stick checks or if we have to worry about any face paint that's inappropriate. Then the referee's going to go to the table. And then typically for me, I ask the table, do you understand your sort of duties and responsibilities here? And then I go over what their duties and responsibilities are, especially if they're rookies at the beginning of the year. They're typically not going to know. And so I will often ask, can I hear the horn? Can you have them sound the horn for me? Because I want to know if it's going to be barely heard or if it's going to be a strong horn. Is it in sync with the zero or is it going to go off a second delayed? It's like getting some of those qualities known can help you during the game. Because if they're new, then I have to explain things and expect things. Like I want to hear that countdown loud. So if I'm busy focusing on the game, I want to know that that person has been released. I want to know what's happening. So again, say yes to the whole certification, where to stand in the box, and then if you're the field judge and the umpire, you're keeping track of, okay, green was facing the table, white's facing away. It's like, okay, green's facing the table, white's facing away. Just so you always remind you can write it on your card, just so you know when you do the lineup. It's like, no, okay, dang it, we have to switch sides, guys, switch sides, or goalies, go to the other side because you were facing the wrong way. It just helps make it more of a smooth transition and looks like you know what you're doing. So again, these are all for looking over when you get this PowerPoint, you can look it over in more detail to see what's going on. But this is the purpose of the pregame, is really to get that team going from the get-go. Don't do it half-assed to me, because that's going to translate. It's going to translate to the observers, but also the other participants. And I've been in plenty of games where I felt like I'm seeing a different game. I'm just not feeling in jive with who I'm repping with. And so for me, I try and set us up for success and start it with sort of that email that goes out a day or two ahead of time. And then getting there for the pregame, doing it on the field. And then going over my scenario. So you'll get an example of my pregame sheet and you can see everything. Whether you use it or not, I mean, that's up to you. Again, I don't go over it all in detail every time. It just, again, depends on who am I repping. Is this going to be a Jesuit Lake Ridge, which to me is an easier game to rep than maybe a Century Hillsborough. I've had hard youth games, and I've had easy, high-level high school lacrosse games here. The more unskilled they are, it's like there's so much that you could call. You don't want to call everything, but you don't want to call nothing. But it's just that balance of what you're trying to do. Any questions about sort of the pregame and other aspects? Mr. Huber.
One suggestion that I have, as an R, carry your cell phone onto the field in your bag. So if any of your crew is running late or whatever, they can, In fact, even on the thing that you send out, your email that you send out to your crew, probably put all the phone numbers on it.
Yeah.
That way, if somebody is running late or in a car accident or who the hell knows what, you can at least send a text and say, this is what's going on. I'll be there 10 minutes late. As an R, and you're sitting there going, what the hell's going on? Is this guy dead? And
Yeah, so it comes down to
Yeah.
communication, and so communication amongst yourselves, but also letting your other teammates know where you are. There are times where it's like, hey, so-and-so's caught in traffic, there was a wreck on I-5. It's
Yeah.
like, okay, great, we'll certify the coaches, we'll get the captains, we'll get everything resolved, and so usually then they roll up, it's like, okay, here are the captains, and then we can get our game going. Any other questions?
You have any stretches that would help shin splints?
Uh,
Really?
So shin splints, yeah, are a harder one to do. It's like just generally getting sort of lacrosse ball right in that tibialis anterior muscle, but also it's going to involve relaxing the whole sort of gastroc and hamstring to get you want to relax that whole knee and everything above and below. So hamstrings, quads, calf can be some of those stretches. But again, we're more prone to injury, especially with our quick change of direction, especially cold weather, especially if there's blood sugar issues. That's more of our likelihood for blowing out our Achilles.
Is it better to stretch before the game or after the
I
game?
get that question a lot. It depends, you gotta know your body. There are some people who are like, I do better with static stretches. It's like, great, do static. For me, I do dynamic stretches. So static stretch would be how I was taught in high school. You lay on the ground, you go over, you touch your toes, you do that. Now dynamics, does everybody understand what a dynamic is? It's sort of stretching in motion. And so that's the piece, just knowing your body and what your tendons, connective tissue need to sort of release. And for me, it's like I do a little calcium magnesium powder in my electrolyte drinks, and I find that I recover faster that way. If I don't do it, I'm more likely to have a little bit more lactic acid and tight muscles. And so I make sure that I'm doing my sort of CalMag electrolytes every game. I do 1 bottle per game. And then
Before or after?
I'm usually, that's my drink. So during and after, because I often won't finish the whole thing. And so that'll just help my muscle recovery for me personally.
Speaking of recovery, post-game ice?
It depends on what happened in the game. It's like, so sometimes ice can be good if you have a tendency to sort of plantar fasciitis or tendonitis. It's like, yeah, acute ice can be helpful in those scenarios.
If you ran.
it's screwed.
If you ran.
That is if you used it that way. All right, so
Curious what your thoughts are about assigning pre-game topics to the other crew members?
great, and so there are scenarios where it's like, hey, so and so, let's cover crease play. Other one, okay, let's do midline play. It's like, so you could absolutely, especially with newer people, sort of give them topics to focus on. So then you can, once you teach something, you learn it better. And so see one, do one, teach one. And so that's absolutely a great technique also to help build team. And I'll often do that sort of in our meeting, just say, hey, what are you working on this year? What's your goal for the game? Just to get the other guys' input to say, hey, what's been a challenge this year? What are you focusing in on? Or what are some of your sort of growth opportunities this year? It's just sort of getting those things so then you can talk about it in some of your, sort of you get a pause during the game, like a timeout where you're not doing stick checks, you can say, it's like, hey, I noticed you wanted to work on crease play, you make sure that you're coming in far enough to be able to look at that. So absolutely, you can definitely do that. All right, thank you very much.
Again.
Lock before,
Lock after. I do want to say that Locke did turn me on, and he talked about it there at the end.
Doesn't take much.
Getting in a car, and it was Sunday one.
the moment's right.
It was goal not counted. And once I went through it, and I even put it on paper, I went, oh, I can hand this out to people. But it was great, and then we went through it, and like I said, if you're the R, think about getting people with more learning, more information, more ideas, and that information that they can share later too, right? You're up.
Cool. Awesome. Gold crease privileges.
I can attest too, Locke does a great job with this pregame. If anyone's worked with him and sat in his pregame, he does an awesome job getting everybody ready to go for the game, getting their mind focused on lacrosse and ready to go. How do I work this?
Press the arrow on the way.
Where did the first slide go? Okay, cool.
This is the problem.
Goalies, right? Where's our goalie? We've got one goalie. Any other goalies in here? Okay, 2 goalies. Awesome. So feel free to help me out with this. I didn't play goalie. Goalie is arguably one of the most important positions in lacrosse, right? A good goalie can keep defense in the game. A bad goalie it can be a rough day for the whole team. So goal crease. When we look at goal crease, we've got a 18-foot diameter circle, right? 9-foot radius, line width 2 to 4 inches. Remember that the crease is not just on the ground, it actually extends up into a cylinder, okay? All right, so some privileges and restrictions, and we'll go through this in depth later. So the offensive player. An offensive player may not enter the goal crease at any time, okay? You see that? That's an immediate hand up, play on, depending on the ball is possessed or not. An offensive player may not play a loose ball in the crease. Okay, there's some exceptions to that, we'll talk about it. Like no contact with the goalkeeper or goalkeeper's cross is permitted. An offensive player may contact the goalkeeper's cross outside the crease only when the ball is loose. Okay, so if the ball is outside the crease, and goalie and goalie and one of the offensive players are trying to get the ball, that's totally fine. No contact with the goalkeeper or goalkeeper's cross is permitted once the goalkeeper has possession. Once it's in his stick, can't touch him. What's the definition of possession? Anybody?
Cradle, carry, pass, shoot.
All right, good. So if he can carry, cradle, pass, shoot, that's possession. His stick gets touched. His stick gets touched. Okay, we have a penalty. Defense. How's it going, man?
Good.
Good. Welcome. Make sure you sign in, please.
Come sit.
Defensive player. Only the goalkeeper is afforded goal crease protection. Okay, nobody else. Only the goalkeeper may be in the crease acting as a goalkeeper. Goalkeeper may bat the ball but cannot grab the ball. Goalkeeper in possession may not remain in the crease for longer than 4 seconds. That's a long 4 seconds too. A player in possession may not enter the crease. A player in possession may not enter the crease, including the goalkeeper. So he can't run through the crease, and we'll talk more about all this. All right, properly equipped goalkeeper. You cannot start a game unless there's a properly equipped goalkeeper. Okay, it doesn't matter if so-and-so, little Johnny's on his way. Hey, he's gonna be here in 5 minutes, let's just get started. No, we're not starting the game unless there's a properly equipped goalkeeper. If they're like, hey, we've got a football pass, we're gonna shut down his pants, or I don't know, anything wild that we've seen. Like one time there was a glove. Someone wanted to use a glove as like a cup or as a what's it called? Chest protector. What are you guys talking about? No, it was at a tournament. Okay, so we need helmet with throat protector, certified chest protector, cross, gloves, mouthpiece, and cup. All right, so here we go. So goalkeeper has special privileges, right? They can touch the ball. They can only bat the ball. They can't grab the ball, okay? Rule 4, 18, Article 1, a player shall not touch the ball with his hands while it is in play, exception the goalie may bat the ball while in the crease. This was supposed to be, I was going to ask you guys what the call for that is, and that was supposed to come up. But yes, illegal touching of the ball, okay? Goalie is the crease. So goalie is in the crease when any part of his body is touching the crease. He is out of the crease when he is no longer in contact with the crease and makes contact with anything outside the crease. It is essential to know whether the keeper is in or out of the crease. Goalkeeper out of the crease is treated like any other field player. Okay, so if he is straddling that line, he's still in the crease. If he's got 1 foot out here and his last foot is on the line, is he in or out? He's in, always, okay? All right, in and out. A defensive player in possession of the ball may not enter the crease. So we see that a lot on defensive gets possession, they're maybe behind it, they're trying to figure out what to do, or the goalkeeper runs out of the crease. Sometimes they'll do that, and then they'll run behind it to X, and now they're trying to figure out what to do. Make sure that you're watching there and you're seeing where his feet are, because if he goes back in through the crease, then we have a in and out, okay? And that'll be an immediate turnover. You are where you were. So the goalie jumps, catches the ball in midair. If he's outside the crease and lands in the crease, that's in and out, right? Because he's established himself outside the crease. That's where he was. Now that he jumped in the air and caught possession of the ball, that still considers him outside of the crease. Does that make sense? Okay, if he's inside the crease, jumps and catches the ball and lands out, we're totally fine. Any questions on that? Okay, only keeper is allowed in the crease. That picture's awesome.
Coaches.
Good AI is pretty great. No defensive player other than the properly equipped goalkeeper may enter his own crease with the intent of blocking a shot or acting as a goalkeeper. What's the penalty for that? Who knows?
Personal foul, illegal equipment.
What's the penalty time?
1 minute, always, yes.
Bingo, nice job. 1 minute non-releasable, okay? We're really trying to get, we really don't want to see
Changed
that.
this year, right?
It
From a
did change this
technical
year.
to a personal.
Yep, it did change, so, you know, I'd say let's talk them out of it, but hey, they really want us to crack down on this, okay? Someone in the crease, that's a danger, that's a player hazard, right? That's a safety issue. We're gonna stop the game, illegal equipment, and he's getting full time.
So,
Yep.
what's the typical scenario where we would see that defender running in there?
So, let's talk about it. So, maybe the keeper is on a clear or something, right? He drops the ball. Now all of a sudden, offense gets it. They do a quick pass, and you got Jimmy Longstick that's like, I'm getting in there, right? Okay. No, we're gonna stop it immediately when we notice it and penalize him.
Does he have to be in the crease?
He has to be in the crease.
He could be
Good
right
question.
outside.
Great question.
Good question, because he can be outside and that is legal.
Which is
So,
odd, right?
Which is how they're
Gotta
gonna,
be smart,
which is
right?
how they're gonna get around it,
Yeah.
right? As long as they're not in the crease, they can't get penalized. So that goalkeeper, long pole will, try and take one for the team, and if he's outside of that circle, it's okay. He has one toe in that circle, it's not okay.
So as lead whispers, step out to crease, step out to crease.
At that point, you're checking for his heels.
Right, yep.
If his heels are on the line,
So this is something to talk about in your pregame, right? The R will maybe talk about it to the coach as well. When this rule came about, what was it, a couple years ago, my first game, I had this. What's up?
Just wanted to confirm, there doesn't have to be a shot for this to be an infraction. If they're just hop in there and do this.
With the perceived intent of acting as a goalkeeper.
Okay, there doesn't have to be a shot, okay.
There should. It should, they can go in though if they possess the ball. If the defense is still possessing the ball, they can be in there. I mean, so the offense has to be.
Because he has the ball.
Yeah.
He's
offense
not
has to
acting
be
as the goalkeeper.
threatening.
Yes, yeah.
So like if defense
Attacking
steps
the
into the
goal.
crease, you would, if defense steps into the crease but you're still clearing, it's still fine.
Sure, I'm saying the offense has the ball, and the, I don't know, the goalies fell down and count days
Yeah.
or something. And then a depot steps in there, but there's still some passing going around.
No, he's acting as a goalkeeper, I'd say stop it,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Safety.
Yeah,
Yep.
there's a conversation going here.
We just said he can't step into the crease with the ball.
So if they have
Oh, if it's in the crease and he picks it up?
No, I'm just saying if the defense is still clearing it, like, somebody can drop back and run through the crease, it's not a big deal, but once it turns back to offense, the ball's coming back towards that goal, he has to get out, like immediately.
Safety. He's
Yeah,
not
makes sense.
properly equipped.
No, sorry.
Okay, no, it's fine, let's go
The
through
in
it.
and out scenario, we just talked about in and out.
Yep.
Defense can't run through the crease with the ball.
He's not. They're saying if the offense has the ball, and then somebody other than the properly equipped goalkeeper enters the crease, that's when we're stopping it, right? He doesn't have the ball.
No, the conversation I'm hearing is if the defender gets the ball and runs to the crease, then he's okay.
No,
No,
defender gets the
I
ball.
think
goes to the
they were
crease,
saying
puts
if
it
somebody
down.
else on the
I'm just
defense team
saying,
is
so
clearing.
if the goalie is clearing, it is very typical for a defender to drop back to the very.
Without the ball, okay.
Without the ball. I'm gonna get my-
I thought you were talking about with the ball, I'm like.
No.
In the past, those defenders would
Oh, yeah, no,
stand
okay,
as a
sorry,
goalie,
misunderstood.
but people still drop back into that position.
Wouldn't his actual intent be to block a goal though?
No,
So he's
because a
acting as a
defender,
ball.
no, a defender, that is a strategic advantage. A defender is afforded crease protections if you pass the ball back to him. So you can pass it to that defender. It's gonna be higher level teams in our state that do that.
Yeah.
You're not gonna see it at lower level, but that actually is a strategic advantage. If your goalie clears out, a deep ball going into the crease can be passed back and be afforded crease protections. They would not be allowed to be touched.
That makes no sense.
Hold on.
They give crease protection.
It's,
Yeah.
well, that, like, cause the slide earlier, I was gonna look that up, in the past, they were afforded crease protections. I don't know if that's changed or not.
So I guess that's.
Body check, but they can be stick checked.
No, it was like on the first slide, you said no defensive player gets crease protection.
We're getting in the weeds, but yeah, you can
Like
be in the
in the
crease.
past, like, I was gonna look that up, because in the past, any defensive player.
Yeah. Let's look it up. Look it up first. Who's got a rule books? Look it up and we'll talk about it. There we go.
Go back one, go back.
Yeah. 418, Article
At
4.
that point, he has no privilege.
With the intent
So
to
you
block.
can check the shit out of him.
The intent to block.
Only when you're clear.
No, if they're clear, you can run through the crease. They don't, I mean, they're the new offense, right? They have the ball. So it's when the other team now gets the ball and they're gonna try to shoot on that goal. Does that make sense? Look at that guy right there. He's not ready. What's up, dude?
Is a shot allowed, or does it allowed for the decision? Never mind, that's my question.
It's a good thing to talk about in pregame, it sounds like. All right? Definitely a good thing to cover.
Is there a video on this?
There.
I think he's in.
Is it on display? Oh, nice.
Push.
It's going.
Definitely a crease violation.
What do you guys think?
When did the ball cross the line?
Comes around, right and back.
Flag down.
Slide down, no goal.
Right and back. Flag down. Let's see. Do we got any flags? No flags.
That part's not through.
Is it a goal?
That's the ball, that's the ball.
I'm gonna go back and back. Watch it again. Start it one more time.
So who should
I
be?
can't pause
Hey, Devin, is that goal line extended?
Years ago, correct?
Who should be making that call? Which official?
I'd say single side should be making that call.
Single shot should be watching the shooter pass her so it's a trail.
Doesn't say they can't.
Okay, pretty quick play, he gets the ball, he's outside the crease, gets shoved right inside the crease. Looks like the goalie's lost it anyway.
They're still.
Okay, no offensive player may be in the crease at any time, be in position to make that call. Okay, goal interference.
What's that?
What is it called?
Push.
Yeah, okay. I know, so the keeper, I couldn't tell, the keeper got the ball.
Yeah, so he shot the ball,
Alright.
he pushed him, but the keeper caught the ball.
Keeper made a
Across.
save, okay.
Yeah, so we just had a push with possession, we're staying, I think it was yellow. All right, goal interference. No contact with the goalie or his cross inside the crease. Players may reach in for a loose ball as long as there is no contact with the goalkeeper. Goalie's cross outside the crease may be touched if he doesn't have possession. The key here is intent, right? If, let's say defense has the ball clamped inside the crease and now the goalie comes over and hits his stick, right? He's touching the goalie, but the goalie initiated the contact. So we got nothing. Everyone tracking on that? If the goalie has the ball clamped inside the crease and now we have a defensive player or an offensive player that tries to scoop up the ball and hits the goalie cross, we got goalie interference. Tracking? Cool, cool. That's a big one. Really got to be in possession or be in position for that. And that's something you want to talk about with your crew. Say who's going to be watching this. You know, that's really when you want to creep inside there as lead to be able to see something like that. We got to protect the keeper in that situation, right? They got a bunch of actions going on right there. Really help out and help your partner and try to get in there and see that.
So just keep reading.
All right, so goalie interference. The biggest things here is possession, position. Okay, does he have possession? Can he carry, cradle, pass, or shoot? That determines when the 20 or 40 or 4-second count begins, right? Once he gets possession, that's when we're gonna twirl, start our timer, start our count. Or whether interference is a restart in the defensive end or a free clear. If he doesn't have possession, okay, let's just play on. We'll let him pick up the ball, and then plays off. Okay? If he has possession and there's goal interference, our hands up, and we're gonna let him do what? Pass, or he can leave the crease. Okay? Good keepers, that's what they'll, yes, drop the ball. Good keepers will throw that ball down because we're gonna go free clear. Okay? Be big when you're making that call. Be big. I got goal interference, free clear. Possession, position. PP. I'm so mature. You can just tell the coach that his PP wasn't satisfied. All right. So here's a little diagram. Okay. I'll print this off, or maybe I'll send this to a form for everybody to have. Quick little cheat sheet. Okay. If ball is loose, contact is made outside the crease. That's legal. If the ball is loose, it's legal. In contact is within 5 yards. If the ball is in possession, okay, play until goalkeeper passes or exits the crease. Okay. If contact is inside the crease and the ball is loose, we got a whistle. We're going to award possession to B. If the ball is in possession, we'll delay play until goalkeeper passes or exits the crease. If not, it's a free clear, like we just talked about. Okay. A1 steps on or into the crease. Okay, if the ball is loose, we're going to have a whistle, award to the opposite team. If the ball is in possession, we got to delay, play until the goalkeeper passes or exits the crease. If not, that's another free clear.
So it says contact outside the crease when the goalkeeper is in the crease. That's contact with the cross, correct?
Yes.
So if the goalie's in the crease, even if it's just his little toe, body is completely off limits all the way out to the glove.
Yes. Yep. And we'll see that a lot when they get the possession, or when a good goalkeeper will get the ball and then they'll step 1 foot, big step right outside the crease, and their back foot will be right at the top of the crease.
Sorry, I just remember like trying that and Zenson just letting me get my claw cleaned.
Trying what?
Like doing the 1 foot in the crease to make the pass, and somebody just clobbering me. He's like, I got nothing. I was like,
when you were playing?
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I'll show you our keeper, so we got 3 goalkeepers.
He didn't like people being too smart.
What's up?
So I
What's up,
think,
Mr. Marsh?
what's critical is, as you go back to possession, right? Because often the goalie is throwing it, and if he connects with the attackman stick, we often call that interference. But if the ball is out of the goalie's stick, and then that contact happens, there's no interference.
You're talking on his follow through?
Right.
I'd say don't be too good, man. If he's right there in front of him and he throws the ball and the ball leaves and it's within a couple feet and he hits the stick, I'd probably have something there.
But we shouldn't.
Technically, I mean,
If it's a
he's
natural
following through,
throw,
that's the
that's
continuation of the shot, right?
Usually it's a natural throwing motion.
Is it
When they hit
inside or
the
outside
stick,
the
it's not
cylinder,
the
and
follow-
can you tell?
Throw it, follow through it.
Right, because technically, yeah, Todd, you're right, but he still is inside the crease, right? And he throws the ball. I get what you're saying. I wouldn't be too good in that situation.
What about, we talked about the goalie coming out, ball's loose, the goalie plants.
Yep.
Outside. What are we feeling the offense can and can't do, because they don't technically have to.
We talked about it. What can they do? So if the ball's clamped, okay, does he
Outside.
have possession?
No. So they
So
can
they
play.
can play. Okay, they're playing it, and they will play it. That's where you gotta be up in there as the lead or single and really looking at that and seeing what happens. Because right when he breaks that back into the crease, that's when his goalkeeper privileges start.
They can really do anything but kick the stick.
Yeah.
Well, they can't play the body though.
No, well, no.
Yeah, they can't like slash, they can like slash it a stick and that's it.
They can lift it up.
Well, yeah, okay, but they can play the stick, they just can't.
What you'll see most of the time is
But like a lot of goalies will like put as much of their body over that so that they can't even play the stick. Because as soon as the stick touches the goalie's body, if they have 1 foot in, that should be interference.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. If there's any part of the body that gets touched, it's interference.
Unless it's you playing Chloe.
Yeah, you don't call anything. Like men's leagues, I don't know. We don't
All
have.
right, something that we get sometimes here, not as much anymore. I think the last time I had this was at the Glencoe tournament out at that church. So the ball is out of play in the crease. If we got it stuck in mud, if it's snowy, something like that, we can't see it. Stop play and award possession and defense if ball is stuck in the mud, or ball is ensnared in goal netting. Ensnared, that's a verbatim from the rule book. Okay, catch in or as a trap. All right, so if the ball gets stuck or something, we're going to stop play, award it to the defense. Okay, ball is stuck in the goalkeeper's uniform or equipment. Okay, if it gets stuck somewhere around here and you see him doing this, a lot of times the ball's just going to fall out. We're just going to keep going. Okay, but if they can't get it out, you got to step in or something. We're going to stop play and award the ball to the defense in the crease. Okay, when we have restart from the crease, we still need our 5 yards of separation and follow through from the goalie. Okay, we just talked about that, Tom. So, 5 yard separation from the offense. We still need that 5 yards and follow through from the goalie. If any of that happens, you know, you could be having a goalie interference.
It's normal follow through.
Yeah. Yes.
You can't slash.
Yeah. Sometimes, I think I've seen that before, where a goalie is just doing one of these, you know what I mean, and he's going after it, and that's going to be using your judgment on what you're going to call there. You could have a slash.
Goes back to your intent.
Also, the defensive guy can't be standing in front of the goalie waving his stick. He's got to give him 5 yards on a restart.
He does.
He could be.
He does. He could be.
If he's 5
If he
yards
does,
away,
Or he gets like.
yeah. or
If he
gets a
does,
penalty.
what do they need to do, right?
Yeah, throw the flag.
Play the throw that thing up in the air.
Well, if it's a defense, it's the ball goes back to them.
Play game. Play game. Yep.
Plays. Don was talking about the race.
Okay, we just talked about this. Penalty on goalie. If the goalie gets a penalty, he's gonna go sit. All right. None of this. Can I send someone else in the form? No. The goalie's gonna go sit. Okay. Make sure you give them a full minute to warm up. All right. If they're like, hey, I want my full minute. Some of these better schools, some of these better coaches will know that they get a full minute, and they will use every second of it. Okay. Give them their minute. Get a water break.
So I have had situations where they don't have a backup goalie, and the other team says, no, we don't want to make you sit.
By rule, he needs to sit.
Right.
Yeah.
But I've had that happen, so.
Yeah.
You can be flexible.
You can
if
be.
The coaches agree.
If the coaches agree, they'd have to be some of the nicer coaches.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah.
Maybe a tournament for me.
Sometimes they don't have another goalie, and they're going to do a quick gear swap right there. Right?
That's what I was gonna ask about, is that part of the 1 minute or not?
What's up? No, give them a full minute to warm up. Right?
Yeah.
No, how much
don't wanna be in
how
the,
much
you know,
time do you give them to change
don't-
clothes?
What's up?
Don't be
Change
too
it.
quick.
Yeah. Don't be like, hey man, your clock starts now.
Don't check their cup.
All right, so these were given to me by our, by Brian Platts.
Big ball.
These are awesome. So, some scenarios we're going through. We have time for this? Fast. Okay. Goal crease scenario. So, goalie is in the crease. Here's our goalie. Ball is outside the crease. Ball is loose. So, the ball is playable. Portion of the goalie stick outside the crease cylinder can be checked. Goalie cannot be touched. If the goalie is touched, what do we have? Interference. Goal interference. Play on. Play on ends with goalie team in possession. Nice job. All right, goalie's in the crease, ball's inside the crease, but the ball is loose. Okay, you can play it. Goalie stick cannot be touched. Goalie cannot be touched. What do we have that happens? Goal interference. You got it. Good rest. All right, goalie's in the crease, ball's outside the crease. Ball in possession. Ball outside the crease, ball in possession.
Yeah, so outside.
Yes, outside the crease.
Like taking a stick.
Oh, I see. Okay, so he's extending over the cylinder. Remember we talked about it still goes straight up.
Touch.
Okay? Ball is not playable. Goalie stick cannot be checked. Goalie cannot be touched. If they get touched, what do we have? And bingo. Where's some of the rookies at? I'm asking this question. Where are we at? There we go, right there. All right. It's all good.
I
We're all
love it.
right. So, goalie outside the crease, ball's outside the crease. He has possession of the ball. What can we do?
Anything you want?
Regular player. Nice
There
job.
you go, buddy.
Anything you want. Anything you want. All right. There's another one. Let's see. Scenario 5. Goalie outside the crease. Ball's outside the crease. With possession. Now, new defensive player runs through the crease. What do we got?
Nope.
Oh!
Oh!
You guys all fail.
Oh
Are you
man,
kidding me?
it was right here. So who says it's nothing?
Who has possession?
Oh, come on, be bold with that hand.
It's an attack.
He's running through the crease.
Who says it's a penalty?
Say it as an attacking.
I'm thinking of
Yeah,
These are my slides, guys.
Okay, come back. I'm sticking the picture. Come back. Okay, attackman runs through the crease.
He's got a flag. That's not correct.
Flag's down. All right, that's the only time we're gonna throw a flag on a goalie on an interference. Right? Hit that thing up in the air. What's up, dude?
It's confusing.
What's up?
That should be a short goal and not a long
team.
Sorry, what? Sorry.
I just noticed that. That should be, that slide was intended.
Hold on. His question is running behind the crease.
Running behind the goal and the crease.
Just touching the crease, okay? So sometimes you'll see, goalie has the ball, they're not paying attention where they're going, and they run through the crease, they touch the crease, okay? Flag down.
They're taking a shortcut to get to the goalkeeper, right?
The
Running through.
riding team runs through the crease, which seems a little bit easier. When you say new defensive, it's confusing for me. Right.
That,
So
the
the riding team
player
runs
in
through the
red
crease.
should have a short stick.
The question that you're right, is that illegal procedure?
Flag down.
Flag is down. Oh, okay, sorry, okay, there's a couple more.
What do you report that?
Okay, goalie inside the crease, ball's inside the crease with possession. Now new defensive player, so attackman runs through or steps in the crease. What do we got? Okay, play on, okay, because he's in the crease with possession, okay? If he's outside the crease with possession, that's a flag down.
It's another long pole.
All right, thank you, Brian, for all this. Those last ones were awesome. I think we're running through close on time, so.
Shorten that
Um,
up.
Questions, guys? We'll type them at the end, but definitely something to brush up on. This is a really important aspect of the game. It's a really difficult thing to ref. It's you and your partner working together and talking about who sees what, and you know, it's going to be difficult your first couple years. All right, don't expect to be experts at the crease. It's a dance you got to do with your partner.
I think for newer officials, you know, you always try and find things that you can rely on and don't have any exceptions. And here's one that if the play on is called when the ball is loose, when does the play on end? When they gain possession. If the play on is called when they already had possession, the play on ends with outlet pass or the goalie taking off. So there are no exceptions to that. So you just go back and think, did you put the play on when the ball was loose or when it was already in possession? And that will help us along.
All right, hey, there was a question about the follow-through. Get your book, page 71. It's situation 621, situation J. And it's all about the follow-through. It's right here, right? Get into your books, guys.
Oh, he'd love to say that to you, Toddy.
All right, face-offs. Mark Monson is not here. We can go through these really quickly and then we'll have a break, all right? Again, on face-offs, you know, alignment, knowing where he should be, knowing where the player should be, right? Get consistent about this, find your right place, find out, you know, what's gonna happen to the ball. You'll know after a few face-offs what's gonna go down, all right? Artistry talks about what, you know, what makes a face-off unique, advantage, violations, and restarting correctly, especially if you have, these guys are going fast. You know, if they get beat, they're gonna cheat. And set the table, you know, get everybody in the right place, make sure they've been told exactly what you're gonna do and how you're gonna do it. Take care of this before the game too, right, set the table. Right, again, face-off official, running left, running right, and the right's gonna control the field. Really take a look at where you are, where players are. He talks about the pull zone. So this is where the ball's gonna be pulled, clamped and pulled. Make sure you're vigilant about this, especially if you're running left. These guys can come right on top of you really quickly. So if you're here, you wanna be getting out of the way. And same with the face-off official. If they're pulling towards you, or it's coming towards you, right, get the hell out of the way or stand still, right? And they'll go around you. Don't get nailed, okay?
Would it be good as the face-off official blowing the whistle to, before guys go down, see where the guys are lined up behind you, so you know to get out of the way properly?
It's a great point, Kyle, great point. It's where are these guys coming in? Because they know, or they've been practicing it, right?
There's also tendencies too.
Yep.
So certain teams will have certain moves. And so, you know, if the blue one in that example rakes it back and it's gonna come right in front of you, then maybe don't set up there next time and move slightly if you know, man, he's done it the last 3 times. My guess is he's gonna do it again.
Yeah.
So observe, know how they're gonna play.
Yeah, I would also say if you're the face-off official, you've just collected the ball, you're running up from the goal, you know, open your ears and your eyes. The face-off guys are gonna go out there and they may say something to one of the guys going out to the far wing. So just keep your ears open. Sometimes they'll hustle out and they'll talk to each other, and that gives you a little bit of a clue as to what they're gonna do, especially if you think that face-off player is winning a lot of them, then you can kind of expect to see the same thing over and over again.
Again, on looking for the advantage and getting out of there. Who's gonna cover, how you're gonna cover the zone. Be careful, right? careful in here. These guys are big and they're coming at you. And a lot of times they get their heads down, right? And whoever's running right, you gotta keep, pay attention to the guys coming in, that's pretty easy, okay? And try and cover the guys on the far side. This is something that we don't cover very well. It goes with, it is what it is. Okay?
So another technique, go back that one slide.
Yeah.
So that lead right can come in too. If you're responsible for both wing lines, yes, come in maybe there, and then you're seeing a little more evenly the two wing lines, because you're responsible for both wing lines. So you can't just be watching only the left and let those guys over on the right get away with murder.
Right? If these guys these face-off guys are good, and your partner's good, you can look this way too. You'll see these guys jerk if they come in. Generally, it's not gonna happen, right? It's not gonna happen.
But Stro, with how this is set up too, it's giving you a little bit of that heads up. It's like if those two far guys are separated like that, I'm not typically gonna look at them as much as the two guys down below who are sort of side by side,
Absolutely.
looking for those holes. So it's like if they're really close and they're about fighting, yeah, I'm doing like Brian says, and I'm mowing the grass and I'm heading out, my head's on a swivel just like those defenders are,
Yeah.
and I'm looking both sides. Because you should not be calling a face-off with that right lead.
And if they're getting beaten, they're gonna be cheating, right? They are, and they're just gonna see it happen, right? They're gonna try and get an early start, you're gonna be running in, right? So, remember, pre-whistle, stand players, now whistle if you can catch it, signal, false start, or you started early, we're going this way. Post whistle, blow the whistle, right? Single side, you're gonna handle all the restarts, get it going fast. Make sure that other player is away, okay? You start from the spot of the violation, okay? Make sure the boxes are locked. Remember, there's no release, no release. They're gonna wander, especially teams that really don't know, they're gonna wander. So get them back.
So, Stro, you talk about boxes being locked, that's not quite correct. It's the restraining line.
Oh, yeah. Correct.
All the way to the end of the way.
That's the entire understanding. And your lead right can help you. If you're going the other way, lead right can say, stay in your box, and then as they go the other way, right? Give them a little heads up.
Not released.
Yeah.
Not released, yes, not released.
Right after you said.
Don't take that long. One thing to talk in pregame is don't take a long time. These guys are itchy trigger fingers. Don't put them down too long and wait a long time. You're just opening yourself up for sort of somebody to go. I mean, just down, set, blow.
Yeah. You're looking for a
Don-
fair face-off.
Don has something to
That's
add.
all coaches want, that's all players want, is a fair attempt at this thing, so.
If you go back 2 slides to our field. Okay, in that situation, if you have a face-off violation and the ball is going towards the single side, who blows that in?
Going to the right or
It's
left?
going to the right.
New trail.
New trail.
New trail.
I'd have
Okay,
to
just
trail
want
it.
everybody to know that.
Ours should be on the goal line extended. Single side should be down the bottom.
Yeah.
So it says single side handles restarts,
It's
but
different
that's,
from the text on the slide.
that's not what we're supposed to do.
As it's releasing to the right, I would have that trail, new trail flowing that way.
I'm watching the far side. Well, I'm watching both.
Early. There's your example.
There's exactly what Don said.
Yeah.
Exactly what he said. Want to see it again?
Yeah.
That was the same. You're on the other side of the field in this video.
Singles in front of you.
Yeah, it's a switch, it's
Oh,
a
yeah.
switch
Yeah,
view.
it's a switch
Yeah, okay.
Single made that call.
Yeah, single made this goal.
So he's got a fast restart.
Yep, so he goes over.
He shouldn't be busting down right now.
Yep, there it is.
Yeah, because now the play ahead.
That comes down to communication and just maybe that new trail is like, hey, you take it, go ahead. Just giving that arm signal, like go in the direction, just go.
Yeah, and again, it's a pregame, right?
The other thing the new trail has to do too is freeze the
but-
guys.
That guy's right there, he's not doing anything anyway.
He left early, yep.
Right?
Long pole, the white long pole.
And now it takes a while for the other side to get down here, right?
Watch the white long
Yeah,
pole.
he ran off.
Left side.
He starts to run off, yeah, before the new restart. Here he goes right there.
Too good.
Okay, that's face off.
Oh, hold on, we didn't talk about face-off violations. That's important, that monster shot. We'll get it later.
We'll get it.
That's pretty
We got a
good.
10-minute break, guys. We are running long. We got a 10-minute break. Tom Carney's here, so we'll have Tom Carney.
Anybody didn't sign in, sheet's here.
10 minutes.
Make sure your timers are working. I know it's been 4 months since you guys have turned them on. So, yes, Kyle.
Speaking of timers, somebody said that there's a really good timer out there that has a lifetime warranty. I was looking for that the other day.
I have
What's
no
the
idea.
website?
It's 1,000.
I have the timer that has warning. No. So anyhow, so just remember that it means something I'm gonna be bringing my box. And you guys can.
Sweet.
hit me up.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tom. It's a football time. So, I didn't have the pleasure of being here first thing. I was standing at Portland International about the time you guys all got together. Probably saw in this first half of the meeting, kind of a lot of basic things, right? And I think you probably saw in the emails and everything that we're really striving to drive consistency this year. So some feedback that the board received from the coaches around, you guys do it differently in one night and differently another night, and Bend they do it one way and Portland they do it another way. So that's why we're kind of covering a lot of what many of you might think, boy, this is kind of remedial, why are we covering this? We're trying to set a foundation for this year, and in subsequent years, we'll dive into topics deeper, but here we're just trying to create an OLOA standard. That's what we're really striving for this year. So keep that in mind as the rest of the night goes, as well as the future meetings. That's what we're striving for. Okay, great. Technical fouls is next. Technical fouls next. You got James Stryker doing technical fouls.
This will be fast.
Everybody's doing it.
This will be fast. Again, there are many more slides in this, so they'll be in your download. But technical fouls, the main thing here is what Brian Platt says, is you live and die by the technical fouls you call or don't call, especially early in the game. Remember this, keep it close, right? This is really good advice. And it saves a lot of us, especially in the pregame when we talk this through, right? The technical fouls you call or don't call. They can either blow up on you, or you can hold it tight. I'll give an example. We had somebody call an interference a couple weeks ago, early in the game. And it was like, dude, what are you doing? Right? You set the stage. Talk him out. Get him out. Right? Don't be calling that early, right? Because now you gotta keep going. Right? Okay? And again, when they get beat, they cheat. Right? Especially technical fouls, the pushes, the holds, the other ones, right? So what are technical fouls? They're less severe infractions. Again, the penalty in technical fouls is like, well, there's a penalty. The penalty is really taking the ball away, right? Or 30 seconds. Take the ball away. That's a penalty, right? Or 30 seconds, okay? Again, so who can name the 11? Cheeseburger, I'm going to put you on the spot. Name the 11 technical fouls.
Offsides, friggin', God, you put me on the spot here. Push from behind, Friggin', god damn it, Stroke. Offsides, push from behind, holding, thank you. Yeah, interference, delay of game, delay of game, thank you. Conduct, thank you. Well, it's a team effort, Mouse goalie for a reason. Screen, illegal screen, thank you.
Devin talked about one.
What was that?
Devin talked.
Devin is a walking technical foul, thank you. And, you're really getting him on the spot.
You should know the last one, is a withholding, right? I mean, goalies do this all the time, right? If you're 11, right? Page numbers are all here, right? If you haven't read it, reread it, right? It's great information, okay? So your approach to technical fouls. Remember, the motion technical fouls have got to be called. Moving picks and screens. This is an issue that they really want called. USA Lacrosse and OLOA both want this called, and we see a lot of this, right? And especially if you're watching off ball, you're going to catch it. You're going to catch this cheap shit. We'll talk a little bit more about it. Warning's a hot button. Lack of motion, withholding, whenever the ball is down, especially on a face-off violations. Line violations, right? Got to call those. Again, look for experience and skill level of players when you're making technical foul calls. And game management, conduct foul goes a long way. It really, really does to knock this stuff off. Okay. All right, illegal offensive screens. No offensive player should move it into and make contact with a defensive player with the purpose of blocking a defensive player from the offensive player. The defensive player is playing or trying to play, right? And so this is an absolute call, right? It can happen on or off ball. And really, you see this a lot, especially when they're dodging and they got the ball, and then some other stupid player tries to screen the defender and just moves right in front of them. You see it in lacrosse, you see it in basketball, it's just a stupid play, right? Can it be facing or can it be, they have to be facing the player? No. Right? Okay? Got to be stationary. Okay? Contact is the magic word here. It's the magic word. You got to have contact. It's in the book. Magic C word. Coach is going to whine, blah, blah, blah. Didn't have contact. Right? Do you have an illegal screen? No. Okay. So what do you look for? Motion offense, high picks at a free shooter, pick off. They'll just stand and pick somebody off, right? Okay. Especially lesser teams will do that. Wide stance. All right. Down on ball picks. Again, focus on your primary area.
Yeah.
If you're ball watching, you're not going to catch this as much. You've got to watch off ball. Yes.
Stroh, are we going to call contact as anything that includes just a light brush? Or will it have to be somewhat significant?
How?
And I like to be consistent.
Did he get through?
Advantage, disadvantage.
Yeah, advantage, disadvantage. Did he get through? Okay. No, did he hip check him and now he's 3 yards off or 2 yards off and he got an advantage of time and distance? Now we got an advantage on that, right?
Okay.
Yeah, just a brush? Oh, I wouldn't say so. Again.
But here's the thing, if you do call it once, then they're gonna ask for it for the rest of the game, and they might ask for little things like that, right? Whether it's a brush or a full motion kind of thing, so that's once
Might
it's
be a
called.
knock it off.
Right.
Yeah. Knock it off. Hold your spot, right? Conduct foul. Right? Okay, player coach cannot object or argue or gesture to a decision by an official. Coach cannot use artificial aids to communicate with players on the field. Leave the team area. Leave the team area, right? Can't be out of the team area on the field, right? Use it to get coaches and players under control, right? It can be called on a coach, a player, or a non-playing personnel, right? Climb the ladder, right? How about ow? Ow! I hate that. Ow! Ow! Well, there's a couple teams that do it. You're gonna call it, you're gonna tell them to shut up, knock it off, and then flag it, right?
TV coach from Lincoln do it all the time.
I know, the TV coach.
I don't do it at all, guys. Chill, relax.
Here's another one that you're starting to see, and the player dodges another player and then waves at him.
Or they chirp.
Right? See that?
Sure.
Boom.
See ya.
Get the ball back. Okay. Look for officiating by players and coaches. That's a slash. That's a slash. And then reactive versus active. This is something that I heard from an official this season. I went, oh, that's brilliant. That's brilliant. You know, coach going, geez, what? And then keep him quiet. And Brandon would do this. And, you know, but you know, if they're active, if they're trying to put on a show, stomping, throwing their hat, doing all that kind of stuff, now we got a problem. But coaches get, you know, they get a little reactive at times. You know, give them a chance to simmer down. If they start getting active, now we got a problem, all right? And Al and coaches on the field. Okay? Offside, this is one that we get a lot of questions about from different officials saying, or officials saying, how do I watch it better? Or I really want to pay more attention offside. Remember, more than 7 players in defensive half. Okay, this is a good one. You can see here, 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 right? Boom, right? Catch them. You've got officials, right? This is a pretty easy one to catch. Okay? When they're jumping back onside, hey. Yeah, right?
If you want to train yourself better to watch offsides, go up like in the skybox and watch a game up high. You see offsides 100 times better than if you're on the field or on the sideline. When you see that upper, it's so easy to count.
Our announcer at Sunset sees these all the time.
Yeah.
And he wonders why we don't call them. Right? Okay?
I was like, throw the flag.
Okay, question?
Can I add one? Count forward, not backwards. There are times where you think it's offside because you count backwards and there's only 2 people behind, but there's 6 players because they're subbing or whatever the case. They are allowed to play man down. Okay? That doesn't mean they're offsides.
Yeah.
Always count forward.
Okay, now, and a good mechanic here is freeze the field. So if you do blow your whistle, don't let them jump back on side and get a call, get a flag now, okay? Right on this? And don't be in a rush to restart the ball, right? If somebody's offside, they've got to have the chance to get back, right? Otherwise, we're gonna have another violation. So get them back on side.
Stroh, what if you catch the offside, coach calls a timeout?
You didn't catch it, or you do?
Let's say you do catch it, coach then identifies it himself. Some of the upper teams will do this and then call a timeout.
Right, you give them the chance to have, coach, do you want a timeout or do you want the offside? We're gonna give the ball to the other team.
Okay.
Your choice.
And remember, a coach isn't penalized when he's yelling offsides. You gotta see it. You gotta catch it.
So again, look for players jumping or running back up over the midline, touching, going whoa, you know. Yeah, advantage or disadvantage, but a line is a line call, right? Toe touch, transition, count forward. Brandon talked about this, that player settled. Count both teams, okay? All right? I'm going through these very quickly. Again, there's more slides behind these. Boarding off, again, a player in possession zone, I use the free hand or arm to hold, push, or control the direction or movement of the cross or body of the player applying the check, right? Swimming, pushing, right? Can you hold? Hold the hand? Of course you can. But you know, what you see is this, or the swimming, or like that. You see it all the time, okay? Keep an eye on that. Now push off, bull dodge. This is a pregame. This is something we want to talk about in pregame as well. As a bull dodge, what are we gonna call? You know, are we gonna call it a ward? Or are we gonna raise the element of that if he drops his head and leads with a crown? We've got to talk about this in pregame. But is it a ward? Probably. We'll talk about it, you know, in a pregame. Again, look at the 2 hands on the cross, 6'11" situation. CA1. Again, warding off on B. Right? Pushes the body away. This is a little LeBron. Right? You ever watch hoops? Watch LeBron. Boom, gets space, shoots, right? This is LeBron. Okay? Call that. Look for displacement of the defender, one hand pushing off, shoving, moving the defender's body, swimming. Right? Swimming with that free hand.
So
You know, if he gets air, we got nothing. gets body, pushes, yeah, we got something.
On the two hands, moving the body, creating space, a lot of coaches get confused between college and high school. In college, if you have two hands running across, you can't be called for wording, and a lot of high school coaches forget that.
Yep. Yep. So wrap up, look for advantage or disadvantage, call the play-ons quickly. We really gotta get the ball off the ground, call the play-ons quickly because nothing good happens, all right? The penalty is lost possession, we talked about that. Some fouls you must call. Look at this one. This is Kyle Hamburger. Did you ever see him as a goalie? He did this all the time. Offensive player. Again, penalize coaches, be in position, be consistent. Focus on preparation and the process. Again, prepare for anything, concentrate, stay focused. We've all got peaks and valleys. You know, again, when they get beat, they cheat. Okay? All right. Tom Carney's up.
Can I say something on technical fouls? Because Soren and I were driving up from Salem tonight, and I've said this to a lot of newer officials. The technical foul is for newer officials. I think it's the harder call. The personal fouls are big. You see them. They're slashed. They're the cremation from behind. But the technical fouls, not only are they lighter in nature, but now you got, was the ball loose? Was it in possession? Does the offense have the ball? Does the defense have the ball? Who penalized? I mean, you gotta go through all these things to determine one of three things. Ball's loose, it's a play on. Ball in possession by the offense, and it's a defensive technical, flag down, slow whistle. Ball's possessed by offense, and the offense commits a technical, it's an immediate whistle. So you have three different scenarios, and these are the things, you gotta pick it out. I mean, like, instantly. And I've seen, we no longer have this one official, but I mean, it was just almost comical. He was coming down, it was right in front of the benches, I was sort of watching the game. He saw the technical, and he was, trying to, who had the ball? Is it offense, defense? And then by the time he sort of figured it out, the ball was 15 yards, and I think he just sort of said, screw it, it's already down, and the coach is like, really? You missed that? Because the coach saw him too. He was sort of like trying to analyze it. Is it a play on? Is it a whistle? Is it a flag? And it was just too late to really call anything at that point. But I think it's the harder call for first, second, and third year officials. Be aware of that.
Okay. So I got the last two subjects before you guys are released. So we're going to go efficiently so we can get out of here on time or a little bit earlier. But really important topic here is taking care of delivering the penalty, the communication on the field. So table reporting, obviously we're focused on consistency and doing this uniformly across the state. Don, I distinctly remember my first training when we talked about this, you said, it's your time to shine, take your time, make sure that everybody's looking at you, take a deep breath, and deliver the C note. And I think that's very important. It's important for a couple reasons. We have scorekeepers that many of them beginning of the season have never done it before. So you need to be very clear and very slow because they need you to hear it. The coaches need to hear it, right? So it just really takes a lot of the confusion out if you do take your time when you're reporting to the table. And you can use your big voice because you want everybody to hear it so that you can move on and don't have to go back to the table because they're honking the horn at you. So, but before you report to the table, think about whether it's a two-man crew or a three-man crew, and you're going to be the reporting official. Think to yourself for a moment, what has to happen first? Ensure the field has had the penalty reported to them, right? Make sure that your partners are beginning to set the field and get it ready while you're hustling over to make the delivery. Make sure that the field gets the report first, right? Again, I noted hustle over for the delivery. It just looks better on film. It makes us all look much more professional. And most of all, verify the folks at the table are looking at you. Now, a lot of them, they've seen the slash, they know it's a slash, they're ahead of you already. They're already writing down because Johnny, number 22, is running over, shaking his head, knowing that he was the culprit. But Devin and I are doing the scorekeepers training this year. We're gonna emphasize that. When that official comes over and is ready, we need eyeballs. Even though you know what it is, we wanna see your eyeballs. Make sure they're looking at you, okay? When reporting to the table, we really focus on the C note. Color and pointing at that bench, the number verbally as well as digitally. You know, I got 1-6. The offense, in this case, 1-6 slash. Obviously the time. Now that's going to vary depending. It's not always 1 minute, right? It could be 2 minutes, locked up. It could be all kinds of different things. So it's not just an assumption that they know it's 1 minute. You got to be sure you're telling them, and it's okay to go 1 minute. And an explanation only if it's needed, right? The player led with his head. He speared him. It's a 3-minute penalty, and we're locking them up. And then you got to give them the head signal as well. So the C note is very important. New officials here, practice it at home in front of a mirror. Imagine a penalty happening, do it a few times, get comfortable with it, okay?
Tom, are we sure, because I was told when we did our training 2 years ago that we're not doing the hand numbers anymore, necessarily.
What are we doing?
I'm happy to do it, but
It's just a verbal.
It's just a verbal now, okay? I think it depends on the table, your R, and the situation. If it's really noisy, it might be good to give the numbers as well. Lock.
Just to help the table, I'll often go personal foul slash instead of just first slash, because then that can also be part of your, in your explaining to them. It's like personal fouls are usually starting at a minute. Right. Technical fouls are 30 seconds.
Right, good, that's great ad. Yeah, walk up, we're gonna have a personal foul. You put your finger up.
After you do the color number.
Right. Do you have the ability to show that, fix up that? We're not gonna watch the whole thing, but this is a very good example of the rigidity or the structure of how we want to do it.
If you watch some of the NCAA Div 1 lacrosse, do not go by what some of their reporting is.
Do not mimic Maggie.
I would say that they are not a good example of the C note all the time.
It's not true.
Tom, why don't you show us?
Tom,
How you would do it?
Yeah, sure.
I know you said it, but I just, like, for me, this is the biggest thing. This is what you said about, like, this is the official's moment to shine. Like, so much of the perception of the crew, your knowledge, like, everything comes out in what Locke was talking about, the nonverbal being communicated here. If you do it well, if you do it right, if you do it consistent, the crew just comes out looking so much better, and it buys you a lot with the coaches. When it's sloppy, when it's rushed, when it's inconsistent, it looks bad, it doesn't give that confidence. So, like, this is one of those few moments where, like, you can get a lot of clout with coaches and teams by doing this. It's kind of a secret.
That's a great point. I mean, it's not only your time to shine, but it also, it sets the stage of how the crew could be perceived or how you want it to be perceived.
Hey, Tom?
Yes.
One more, so I've had evaluators tell me I'm too close to the table.
We're gonna talk about that in 1 second.
All right.
Okay, we're gonna have a standard. When we share all these decks and they're gonna be out there available to you, this is well worth watching. You don't have to watch the 2.5 minutes of it. It's Gordon Corsetti, rest in peace. He does a really good job of delivering all the different penalties. That's the whole gambit of them. But the first couple are really all you need to see, just how he delivers it in the examples. Okay. Stroke. Okay, so table reporting, whether it's a 2 or 3 man mechanic, the official is going to report the fouls to the field. Most likely is going to be the trail. There'll be some occasions where it may not be. But in a 2-man mechanic, particularly the rookies in the room here, if the penalty's down on the side where you're the official way off in the distance, you got to hustle in to the middle of the field as your partner's probably reporting to the field what's happening. They're going to look at you if you haven't heard it clearly. You get the report, and then you have to hustle over. In the 3-man mechanic, the trail official's pretty close to the table already. So it's not as much hustle has to happen. But in 2-man, that trail official, particularly when it's on that one side, really does have to hustle over. Okay, but the trail is typically going to be what our standard's going to be. It's going to be the one that has to hustle over and make the report. So a couple reminders about that. If there's multiple flags, you threw a flag, a single side, let's say, and the lead official down GLE threw the flag, you shouldn't assume, even though the flags were kind of at the same time, don't assume it's the same foul, right? If 2 flags go up, get together. The 2 officials that threw the flags, get together. Make sure that it's the same and what it's going to be. Or, what did you see? Well, I had a slash. Oh, well, I actually had a conduct. The guy was mouthing off to me coming down the field. Oh, okay, so now you got 2 different. So that's something that I know I've caught myself assuming and got caught because there was actually 2 different things going on. So make sure that if there are 2 flags that you get together first. Get it right before you go and report it. Okay, this is a new standard that we would like to have this year. I went to a lot of games and watched fellow officials here in the room. I've seen myself do it differently, but this is the year where we are going to use this wing line as our place where we sort of put our toes and deliver the penalty to the table. Okay, there's a couple reasons why we would do that. Why would you do that?
Projection for both benches to hear.
Both benches are going to hear it. What else?
Well, they'll see you too. You're not too close, so you're far enough away that both benches can see you.
What else?
Keeps you far away from the coaches.
Keeps you away from the coaches.
It also gives you time to prepare yourself to deliver your C note as you're moving your way towards the reporting area.
Right. So the goal this year is that when we're delivering to the table, that we're doing it right in here. Okay? That way we're going to be very uniform, consistent. The tables are going to get used to it. The coaches are going to get used to it. And it really does keep you away from the coaches a little bit. Mike?
So once we report it, timer on, we can still go talk to the coach in that 20 seconds, right? If they ask for something.
Yeah, if they're looking for a possible clarification, that's the officials.
We're not trying to just avoid them. It's still like we announce it, report it, timer on, give them a second.
Yeah, if you're standing right here delivering to the table, that coach is going to come in here and kind of interfering with you trying to deliver a good C note, right? So we discussed it amongst all the trainers and the board, and we thought, let's really focus on all of us being consistent and just doing it right at the wing line. It's an easy marker in the field. Everybody will get used to it.
Love the timer on.
Yeah, that was, I was gonna say that too. That's what's the next piece after your C note? Timer on, hand up. Because then you're gonna go back and see if the field is ready to be ready to go.
It's just like on a face-off too, is, you know, you get teams just slowly coming out, It just takes that lead, right? Timer on, all of a sudden everybody's scrambling. So use it to your advantage.
Great point, guys. Okay, we just kind of answered that question. I would just say in there, timer on. What's the best practices? Timer on, signal, make sure your partners are all ready. Depending on where that ball restart is, you as the reporting official may actually be the one winding the clock to get it going.
Also,
yeah.
as part of the explanation, there may be times you gotta let them know who's got possession.
Sure.
Because if you don't, they'll ask.
Yep, they will. So really big thing here, consistency, allow the teams, the table staff, even the event staff. If you're standing back and you're doing the signal well, even the announcer up in the press box may actually know what's going on and actually be able to, make the announcement to the fans and
Signals,
stands.
please.
Okay?
I have one thing, Tom.
Yep.
So this is your time also, have some control. The coaches may be upset and yelling at you or add one clarification. After I make the call, right, give them the hand, you're in control, you tell the table your penalty, and then you can go talk to them. Don't let them try to get you before you make the call. That makes sense?
Coach, let me report and then I'll get
Yeah,
back to you.
coach, 1 second,
And Devo has a good point too. You may want a timeout. Coach, after I report, I'll give you your timeout. And get that reporting.
Okay.
That was easy.
All right, clock management. Thanks to Derek, he provided this content, so if you don't like it, it's his fault. But, the football officials in here, raise your hand. Any basketball officials, raise your hand, right? Those two sports have a lot more focus to the clock than what we have had. And we're gonna try to improve upon that because it can come back and haunt us and we don't want that to happen. So a little bit of tips of the trade, if you will, from a knowledgeable, decorated football official for all of us. I'm just the schmo that's delivering it here. So a couple key points. I'm not gonna read all of these to you, but I think the key thing is we're really responsible for the clock. And I think during pregame, it's a good idea. Some of these fields, the clocks are only at one end. Which end is it? Is it the end where the sun is shining on it? It's gonna be really hard to read. There's a lot of idiosyncrasies about the clock, but I think the big thing is that in most cases, the trail or the single side are gonna be able to see the clock, but trail one way or trail the other way is gonna be looking at the clock. I think the big question I have here is, what's the basic rule on a shot when the clock hits 0? Can somebody just basically say, what's the rule? The ball has been shot, the clock hits 0, the horn has gone off.
Hold your whistle.
Hold your whistle. That's the first thing. That's important, you guys. Just because you hear the horn and it's 0, don't blow your whistle.
Wait till it stops on the field of play or off.
Right, so the ball is still live. It's live if it hits a defender and goes into the goal. It's live if it hits the defender as a goalie as well, goes into the goal, hits the pipe, goes into the goal. But if it hits an offensive player, whistle. If it goes out of bounds, whistle. Time is out.
Has to be above GLE.
It'll be a shot.
Has to be above GLE. Yeah, that's great.
It never happened. I mean, never see that, but you may.
Well, if anybody went to the state championship last year, Jesuit did a Hail Mary at the end, and the ball barely missed going into the goal. Everybody was running out in the field on Lake Ridge, and the officials were sitting there watching the ball as it just skirted by the goal. If that had it gone into the goal, it would have been a good goal.
On a mixed comment, Does the ball have to be above GLE, or does the
The
player?
head of the crosses should be above GLE when the shot's released.
Thank you.
Okay. So I think the big thing here is the pregame discussion, just reminding everybody, let's be focused on the clock. Let's, trails, paying attention to the clock. I think one of the things that Derek pointed out is, you think about a clock operator, the human condition is they're going to hear the whistle and then take a second and click, right? It's the issue where the whistle's been blown and they're taking their dear sweet time clicking it. Are they distracted? Are they being a homer? You know, what's going on? And that's why we want to be looking at the clock. Okay, we all know that the length of the game is 4 periods with 12 minutes. JV games, 4 periods, 15 minutes running time. And as we all know, a couple years ago, they instituted the 12 score differential in the second half. Once that happens, it's running time, and it remains running time no matter what happens with the score from that point forward, right? Are the penalties running time?
Yes. The time and a half, yes.
It does not go to time and a half.
On the JV game?
No, for the, I'm sorry, in the 12 minutes, excuse me, the 12 score differential. The time becomes running time. The penalties are running time, but they're not, excuse me, time and a half. They remain the varsity time for the penalty.
But in JV,
For JV, it's time and a half.
also Tom, in a JV game, a lot of times you gotta give varsity a half an hour warm up. In the fourth quarter, it might have to be adjusted to an 8-minute quarter.
Right, right, that's a great point. A lot of these teams are not, they're scheduling the field tight. And so when we've started, I've done some JV games last year where I told the coaches, I said, listen, we're gonna do a normal first half. We'll start determining what we're gonna do in the second half at halftime. Because we've gotta give the varsity guys 30 minutes. And they all understand that, they get it. Great point. Oh, Russ.
Running clock is, so if they get it back under 12, like if they cut it to 11, it's still running?
Still running clock forever and ever. Once that threshold's been hit, it remains that way the rest of the game. Yeah.
It starts on the next face-off. So the
Starts
goal
on-
is scored, that makes a difference of 12. That running clock starts at the next face-off. That's wise, tell the table to contact the clock operator. You can do it like at 11. So on this next one, if we go to 12, this is what's gonna happen.
And I've also done that in the pregame certification of the table. I'll run through with them the 12-point differential if it comes up, and to make sure that they're talking to their clock operator up in the press box.
But always make sure you watch the clock.
Making sure you're watching the clock. So I talked a little bit about the human nature aspect of hearing the whistle and the timer. How long is it taking? I think the big thing is that we want to be sure that somebody's watching the clock. I've got to get in that habit. That's going to be a big thing for me this year. I really haven't watched the clock that well. I occasionally have caught it where it hasn't started, but it's not been something that's been focused for me. So we know that the clock's going to be at 12 at the start of the game, right? But here's a good one. The face-off violation happens. The guy, moves, right? And we have him stand up, or we blow the whistle, and we call, legal procedure. He went early. We tell everybody to hold. Somebody should be looking at the clock. It should still read 12, right? If it's 11:58, we got to get him to reset it. Okay, that just makes us look really good. We're on top of it. And then we all write down the timeout, right? So 1:45 left in the third quarter. I write it down and which team called it. We want to make sure that if we have to restart, or excuse me, if we restart after that timeout and we start hearing, no, the clock hasn't started, or you catch it, what do? We gotta go back to the table and have them talk to the press box and get that timer to get the clock back to 1:45. Okay? Okay. Correction of timing errors, there's a lot of stuff here, but I think there's some good thoughts around it that Derek had given us. 5 minutes left in a half, if the error's around 5 seconds, probably want to fix it. And then as you can see as it goes down, with 1 minute left in the half, you probably got to address if the clock is off by a second, because a second's a lot in lacrosse. Bang bang, it's in the goal, and that's important. So kind of keep that in mind in the last 5 minutes of each half. And then, as Derek noted here, score and situational dependent. I have no idea what this is. We're just moving
1972 Olympics.
on. Oh, 72 Olympics.
Go back.
Watch it.
Who was
YouTube
alive
it and
in
watch it.
72?
YouTube, if you haven't ever seen the 1972 basketball play,
7 years old.
USA versus Russia.
Thanks, Tom.
Repeated the 3 seconds 3 times.
Yeah, really, one thing about it. I appreciate, on those last 2 subjects we went through, there was really great feedback. That's what we want. Veterans in here sharing those little anecdotes, or, that one last additional thing. Craig sitting in the back going, giving me the motion of the head hit, that's the proper motion. Those are all really good things that, that's why these trainings are so important. Sharing is super critical. Don.
I was gonna say, one of the other things that you can do in watching the clock is when you have somebody in the box for a 1 minute penalty, you ought to be knowing when they're coming out.
Yeah.
Why is that? Because you're gonna have 5 men going down instead of 6 for offside. Okay, just another thing to think about.
We done?
Same time next week, same room.
Yep.